this together.
A toast to soil health.
More and more landowners and their farmers are celebrating healthy soil for good reason, because farmers who use soil health building practices like no-till and cover crops and who use diverse species and rotations report greater farm productivity, profitability, and resiliency. So here's to your soil's health. Contact your local USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service office today and learn how to unlock the secrets in your soil. This message brought to you by USDA and this radio station.
Southeast AgNet is social. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, where you can be sure to find all of the agriculture news for the Southeast.
Whether you're planting flower companion plants or trap crops, there are some plants that simply should not be mixed. Certain flower bulbs, such as those that resemble garlic or onions, could be mistaken for the plants you can eat. Oleander and foxglove, while beautiful, shouldn't be planted near your veggies. All parts of these plants are toxic and harmful to your health. Gladiolus should be kept out of the garden, especially if you're growing legumes like peas and beans, because they are known to hinder the development of these plants as they grow. Sunflowers, too. While these tall, gorgeous flowers add a lot to a vegetable garden in terms of their beauty and attractiveness to pollinators, you need to be mindful of where you place them so you don't overshadow the smaller, sun-loving plants. On tomorrow's program, we'll talk about the flowers you should plant near veggies. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
We'll have plenty of sunshine today, but cool with a high of 59 to 63. Clear and chilly this evening, low tonight 36 to 42. Wednesday will be a cool day with plenty of sunshine. High tomorrow 62 to 65. Then Thursday and Friday both will be nice days with sunshine mixing with some clouds. High Thursday 69 to 72. High Friday 73 to 75. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new truck.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
Just like the song says, the guys, Matt Gibbs and the guys at Sunrise Auto will treat you right. Matt Gibbs joins us as he does every Tuesday in studio. And the last 2 Tuesdays in a row here, Matt, you brought the cold weather with you.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
I'm blaming you. But that's when cars, you know, in this cold weather, that's when things go wrong sometimes.
Yes, they do.
You been busy over at Sunrise?
It's just, yep, we've been busy at Sunrise.
I've developed something in the last week, and I'm gonna tell you what it is, and then you're gonna tell me what it is. Because I know you mechanics are good at this. You know how people are coming to say, it's making this noise, whop, 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 whop. And you'll go, oh, you got mud in your tires. you know these things. You know, it goes, can't. Well, stop turning the key once the car's already started. I remember a girlfriend of mine come in and said, every time I get in my car, she was a pizza, delivered pizzas. She said, every time I get back in my car makes this noise. I go, what are you doing? She goes, well, I get back in my car and go to crank it. I go, you delivered a pizza. Wasn't the car still running? Yeah. Well, why are you cranking it? That's the noise you're hearing, is your ignition not making a funny noise telling you, cut that out.
Yeah, the starter's trying to engage on something that's already spinning at a high rate of speed.
Exactly. So, no, I've, in the last week or so, and I'm sure it's what you're going to tell me. I'm almost positive what you're going to tell me, but I want to hear it from you. I get up to about 55, 60 miles an hour. Then I hit the brakes and the front end shakes.
Yeah.
And I had my brakes done about 45,000 miles ago.
Oh, wow.
40,000 maybe. So I know that they're getting the shoes. Last time I had my tires rotated and all, my buddy said, your pads are getting a little low. Next time, probably gonna have to do the pads. And now with this vibration as I'm braking, probably gonna have to replace the
rotors.
The rotors as well, because I'm thinking this is just warped rotors, and that's what's causing that shake as I'm braking. Am I right?
You're right. It's not a shaking, it's a pulsation.
It's a pulsation, yeah. The wheel doesn't shake in your hand or anything.
Right.
It just feels like the car's shaking.
Right.
But it's not.
What it is the rotors are not true anymore.
Right.
So when you put on the brake and the rotors are not true, you feel that shaking comes from the pads being applied against the rotor, but the rotors are out of round. They're not round anymore. So the good thing is that, those rotors can be cut to a certain tolerance. There's a tolerance that you can take the metal off.
Not these.
And then
they're
beyond
the rotors have been the rotors have been shaved once.
And it once made. They still might be able to be shaved again.
Well, I just know the last time they were done, my good friend Walt Crum, Walt.
I know Walt.
Said we're not going to be able to do these again. And he's made his living in the brake area.
Yeah.
So he looked at me and goes, these aren't going to be able to be done again. So, but it just happened in the last. It was quick how it happened too. One day it wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it's there.
Yeah.
Now, could the cold weather have had anything to do with that?
Probably not the cold weather, but what could have happened. A lot of times, what happens, especially around with us, that I see, is like, you have an afternoon, like a late afternoon shower. And you got those brakes really good and hot, and then it rained, and you hit a puddle, and it cools them down real fast, kind of thing.
So then it's my fault.
Oh, it's always your fault, Tom.
No. The reason I want you to know this is what you just said makes it completely my fault.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
All right.
I'm a little kid. I'm not a man. I'm like George Costanza and Jerry Seinfeld. We're not men. We're little kids in men's bodies. And I can't help myself.
Oh, you're the little kid that stomps in the puddle.
Whenever I see the puddle and it's extended out in the road, I will move my car over to run through that puddle.
Okay, I got you.
And it is the right side that feels like it's shaking hard. And I do it. I drive a lot in the afternoons. I'm going out doing sales calls and all. So I do drive a lot, and I'll see a puddle and I'll hit that puddle. So I've done it to myself.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I've got it out of line. I've got it out of warp. I've warped it just because I'm not a man. I'm a child.
And there you have it. But it's easily fixed.
In your line of work, I bet you see a lot of people who, once you do the investigation, it's something that they did that has broken their car, not wear and tear, not something that is a manufacturer's defect. 99% of the time, I bet it's operator error that causes issues.
Well, I would say 99% of the time on certain things. For instance,
rotors being out of warp.
Well, but let's say you're not the guy that maybe you are a true man in a true man's body.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, but maybe there is a man out there that is.
Yeah, I'm still stomping in
and
puddles.
He won't go through the lake when it's on a hot summer day.
Now don't go. Let me preface that I will not hit a pond like that or anything if somebody's walking down the sidewalk.
Okay.
Now.
So all right. So
30 years ago, you would be drenched.
You're a young adult. Man. You've gone past the adolescent stage of life.
But I'm still not a man.
Okay.
I'm a child.
So I would say there are some things. For instance, like I'll see if a blower motor quits in your car because the blower motor decided to give up the ghost, that's not your fault.
Well, yeah, which happened to me. My blower motor in my air conditioner went out.
They go bad. It has brushes. The brushes wear out. It's going to fail. It's kind of like these. You come into the studio.
Light bulb goes out. It's the light bulb's fault.
It's not your fault. Right. It's just time for the light bulb.
Well, no, it's Joe Martone's fault because he's too lazy to change them on a regular basis.
So I'm going to lose this debate, ain't I? There's nowhere for me to go in this. But what I usually see, like when it comes to engines, transmissions, rear ends, stuff like that, I see a lot of times it's a lack of maintenance.
What do you say to the people? And I noticed this weekend. I was at a place this weekend that had a lot of speed bumps, the speed humps, or whatever you want to call them. And I heard a guy literally say this conversation. I heard this conversation transpire. Dude, you come in here pretty wide open going over those speed bumps. You don't care about your suspension? Verbatim his response, I drive a pickup truck. It can handle it.
Okay.
That's the kind of stuff you're talking about.
I love that. I own a garage. I can handle that too.
Because whether you're in a pickup truck or not, you take a speed bump at 30 miles an hour, it's going to mess with your suspension.
Right.
I don't care what kind of vehicle, unless you're in an M1 Abrams tank. Now, it's probably not going to bother it. A Baja racer probably won't bother.
Right, right.
But a pickup truck, and I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a big pickup truck with a big lift kit on it and big four-wheel drive, but I would think that puts it at more danger of getting destroyed.
It's a...
But that's the kind of things you're talking about, that's the kind of damage people will do, not slowing down to go over speed bump because they think, I'm in a big truck, it can handle it.
Or people will go buy a certain type of oil thinking they can get 20,000 miles out of this oil change, you know what I'm saying? And not understanding the whole, or some people like decide they're going to change the oil like sometime in their life.
Yeah. I had this girl I was dating in college. We were coming down I-16 out of Macon, Georgia, coming back to Statesboro, to where Georgia Southern was. And I hear, and I go, hey, I think your car's knocking. That's not good. She goes, it'll be fine. It's been doing that for about 3-4 days. Because she picked me up at a friend's house in Macon. I was dating her, and she was coming from Atlanta. I go, I don't think that's good. As we're doing 55, 58 on the interstate in a Nissan Pulsar.
Oh, there you go.
Remember the Pulsars?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
This is 1990. So about 3 miles later, she goes, I don't know what's happening. My car's slow. The car's slowing down. Now we're on the interstate doing about 30. And I look back, and there's a black smoke just pouring. I go, I think you need to pull over. She goes, we need to. We're almost to Statesboro. I go, no. I think we need to pull over and flag down somebody because there were no cell phones in. She goes, no. I think it can make. She goes, I think it can make. And as she says that, you heard this loud explosion, and unbeknownst to us at the time, a piston had come out the side quarter panel of the car. Just slung it right out of the car. So they get it up to the Chevron there in Statesboro, tow it in and everything. Her dad is there, because she lives there, and her parents live there. He comes up and everything, and they pull Donald over to the side, her father, and they say something to him, and he walks over and he goes, hey, when's the last time you got the oil changed in that Pulsar? She goes, what do you mean? He goes, when was the last time you put oil in the car? She goes, didn't they do that at the factory?
Yeah, at the factory.
I mean, not a stitch of oil in this car. She had the car 2.5 years, never once had the oil changed. Driving it from Atlanta to Statesboro back and everything.
I see it, man. I had a car. This is no lie. This is the honest God's truth. This lady came in. She said my car is making a funny noise, and so it was knocking. This car had 30,000 miles on it.
30,000?
30,000 miles on it. It was knocking. She brought it in for an oil change, and she said it had a funny noise. I look at the noise and change the oil. Now, this is when I was working at a dealership. So I go and... Did the oil look like black tar heroin when it came out? I pulled the plug out.
Nothing.
Nothing came out. Nothing.
Nothing. Not even a drip.
Not even a drip. Unbolted the oil pan. Like when you go to Lowe's and stuff, you buy a thing of paint. They give you the little paint stir.
The stir, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had one of those in my toolbox. I dropped the oil pan down, took the paint stir and stuck it in the middle of the oil pan, turned it upside down.
And it didn't fall out.
And I took a picture of it. It had sludged the entire... I said, ma'am, have you ever changed the oil in this car? And I knew she hadn't, and I'll tell you why. Because from the factory, they paint the oil filter when they paint the engine. They screw the oil filter on, and paint over it.
To let people know it's...
To let us know that this is the original oil filter. And when they paint it, they don't paint the oil filter adapter.
Right.
Okay? So I knew that this oil has never been changed. She said, no.
30+ thousand miles.
You don't change the oil until 30,000 miles. I said, no, ma'am. It's 3,000. Oh, no, it's not. And she went and got her owner's manual and said, ruh-roh.
She had read it as 30,000. Well, you know, on a story similar to that, but I had to read the owner's manual. Then I actually took it in and goes, this can't be right. This got to be a misprint. They were like, no, it's right. My ex-wife in 2005, I had a 1996 Toyota pickup with the R22R motor.
Yep.
Right, 22R, one of the best motors ever made.
Yep.
Somehow she blew it up while I was out of town.
Oh, boy.
Blew the Toyota four-wheel drive up. Boom, gone. She, a computer programmer, making lots of money. She's a rich, ugly woman. Goes and buys me a truck and meets me at the airport with this brand new truck. Ford F-150 quad cab Eddie Bauer. I mean, a nice one. You know what I mean? Loaded. So I drive it, and I'm driving all around. Now I'm like, I'm so happy with this truck. I'm going to poker tournaments. I'm not flying anymore. I'm driving this truck to poker tournaments. So in about 3 years, I put 97,000 miles on it. But at about 50,000, I went to get a tune-up. And I pulled out my owner's manual to look at it, and they said, no, you don't need that till 100,000 miles. I literally drove to Ford and goes, this got to be a misprint. But no, they started doing 100,000-mile tune-ups with the spark plug so far down in the motor you couldn't get to them, and the only person that made the tool to get that spark plug for the first 5 years, it was proprietary to Ford, so you had to take it to Ford to get it worked on. But I thought it was a misprint that you only got to, every 100,000 miles get your car tuned, because I'd always learned as a kid between 40,000 and 50,000 miles you get a tune-up. But I guess points and all needed tune-ups at 40,000 miles.
Yeah, sure did.
So just the opposite of what that woman did. I thought it was a misprint that it said 100,000 miles. She read 30,000 miles and just thought, that's perfect. We can go. We can roll. Now, my question is, were you able to salvage the car?
No, but now this was years ago, so it's a little bit different today. But General Motors, it was actually an Oldsmobile. Oldsmobile warranted her a brand new engine.
Wow! Even though she had blown it up.
Yeah, they did. They stepped up.
But it was under 36,000 miles, so.
Yeah, well, but it's also negligence. Right. So they could have said sorry, but you
didn't change your oil. You blew it up.
You didn't maintain your car properly, so therefore your warranty is void. But they didn't. They actually stepped up and put a new engine for her and explained to her, we're not going to do this again.
Right.
And you are going to change the oil every 3,000 miles.
Right. And now I think
let's go back to a second. I want to talk about you had mentioned your spark plugs that are good for 100,000 miles.
Right.
And as a mechanic, this is what we're finding the issue that we're having on our side with spark plugs that last 100,000 miles.
Because they're telling you now that tune-ups are 100,000 miles.
To be honest with you, and here it comes. There really isn't tune-ups anymore.
No.
It's not. There's issues. There's problems. You might have a misfire. It's good to replace the spark plugs at 100,000 miles.
But there's no more where people replace the plugs and wires and points anymore.
Most cars don't have wires anymore.
Right.
They're coilovers. We just replaced the little boots on them.
Right.
And but there again, we only do it if there's an oil leak and the oil's getting down inside of them, or they start to dry out.
Or you have a misfire that shows up on the computer.
So that's what we do nowadays is we look for the problem. What problem do you have? Now, I got 100,000 miles and it's time to replace this plugs. We do that as a maintenance thing. But here's one of the big problems that we're having with these plugs that are in the head. Stop and think about it. These things have been in the head for 100,000 miles.
Seized.
Dude.
Seized.
And that Ford, you ought to see the
tools. They broke off. 3 of them broke off. Ford had to bore them out. Ford had to do, because they broke them, they had to do all kind of work on this Ford when they finally tuned it up that cost me nothing, but it kept it. They had it for 3 weeks.
Right.
Because they had to drill the spark plugs out because the ceramic spark plug snapped.
Yep.
Because they were in there 100,000 miles.
Well, okay.
Let's take a phone call real quick. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Jim. Another area that people forget about is transmission fluid. And, you have to change that periodically according to the owner's manual. Lately, there's a kind of a cottage industry in transmission flushes. That's slow death on a transmission. You got to take that filter out and replace the filter, and then put the pan back on after you scrape off the old gasket and put on a new gasket. And it takes a little bit longer than a flush, but it's better for the transmission to do it the old-fashioned way.
Thanks for the call, Jim.
Yep.
He's right too. The flush is the way that you're supposed to do it is take the pan off and everything. And
then the thing about it is, you don't have to scrape the gaskets off anymore. They're all reusable gaskets nowadays.
Right.
You just clean them, wipe them down. As long as someone didn't over torque them, they'll be fine.
I remember when I was a little kid, I would look. This is another reason probably why my father at a young age made a decision to get me the hell out of his lube base. Is because I remember one weekend I saw my dad, and he had probably the tops of the motor over there, and he was cleaning gaskets off of them and everything, motor covers or whatever. And he was doing it in this sink looking thing that had a wire, a metal hose coming out of it, and it had some sort of solution that was taking this stuff off pretty good. Well, to a 5-year-old kid, that looks like a bath. About 3 hours later, Daddy come out there. I'm in the machine, pouring this solution on me, taking a bath.
Oh, no.
Burnt me up. I had first-degree burns and everything.
Oh,
that may be another reason why he decided I wasn't going to be a mechanic.
Now I understand why you never became a man.
I'm not a man. But it is. Do you see people still have antiquated thoughts about cars because they remember cars that were easy to work on and easy to diagnose, and so they think that the same like Jim right there. Jim said scraping off the gaskets when most gaskets now are reusable.
Right. And it's just you turn on your turn signal in your car and you go click, 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 click. It doesn't make that noise anymore.
No.
They haven't had that flasher in years.
No.
Matter of fact, in my truck, if you don't put your seatbelt on and you turn left, it'll go, you hear the click, 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 and then the click, click goes away, and then the ding, ding comes on for me to remind me to put my seatbelt on.
Well, mine when you leave the turn signal on too long, because it doesn't click, click anymore, so you don't hear it. But if the turn signal stays on longer than 30 minutes, it beeps, and then the voice goes, turn signal on.
Yeah, you go a quarter of a mile, and it tells you
turn signal on.
Yeah.
And a lot of the turn signals, if you take like a fork or something, they don't click off automatically. Then you'll hear that lady go, turn signal on. And it's the same lady. I don't know how they got her on OnStar and in the car. I just don't know how that works. Is that still a thing now with cell phones and everything? Is OnStar still a big deal, even though everybody has a cell phone now?
I have 2 vehicles. I don't have OnStar. But
I have the capability. I just don't have it.
Right. But see, the OnStar also, you can get your satellite radio through OnStar. So
I don't have satellite radio either. I got the preview channel, the XM preview channel.
But if you had OnStar, you'd have satellite radio.
Oh, it would come with it.
Oh. And also, I think one of the good things, especially for, I better be careful how I say this, but because my wife would say, well, why don't you turn mine on then? But is the
accident.
The accident.
Right, which is good because if you're injured and can't get to your cell phone, OnStar dings you, and if you don't answer, they immediately alert 911 there's been an accident.
And the other thing is, too, if you lock your keys in your car, you have OnStar, they
open it up.
They unlock your door for you.
And believe me, I've contemplated getting OnStar just because... You know what else they can do is if you have your fob, you lose your fob and everything. If you can run, you give them the right designation and your car's registered through, like mine's registered through Cadillac. If I'd had OnStar when I lost my key fob, because smart guy like me, I left my keys in the car and I took my fob with me in my shorts to Disney. Then I got back in the car and there's no fob. and so I can't get in the car or anything. But if I'd had OnStar, they could have let me in the car.
Yep.
And she says if I'd have given her the right, because my car's registered with Cadillac through my name, if I'd have given her the right sign-in stuff and everything, they could have cranked my car from OnStar and let me get back to town, and I wouldn't have had to spend
a lot of money.
$478 on a Sunday night.
Yep.
Matt, tell people where you're located, where they can come find you, and why they should do it before they get to 30,000 miles on their oil changes.
Well, we're here. We're available to take care of all your automotive needs, and we'd be happy to do that or even assist. You got a question, give me a call. I'll be happy to help anybody out. And but my phone number is 352-690-1993, and our address is 1800 Northwest 10th Street, and that is Highway 27, and we are just west of Howard Middle School on 27 on the other side of the road.
Yeah, you're about a quarter mile down on the left from Howard Middle School if you're traveling west.
Yep, absolutely.
And a lot of his time, folks, is taken up working on Joe Martone's vehicle.
All the time.
Because he's not a man. he destroys his vehicle, too.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. It's job security for you.
Absolutely.
I mean, as long as there's vehicles on the road, they're going to tear up, and that gives you job security.
That's right. Thank you.
Although, I believe cars are a lot like cell phones. I know you have a cell phone issue right now with your battery.
Yep.
I think they designed cell phones to wear at a certain time. I think they designed cars to wear at a certain time.
I was working, real quick story. We got just a few seconds here, but I was working at the dealership, and one of the salesmen come running back to the service department. Dude, I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. I said, what's wrong? He goes, I just sold this car. I said, okay, what's going on with it? I said, what's broke? He said, nothing's broke. He said, but look under the hood. He lifts up the hood, and under the hood of this car was a sticker from the manufacturer. And the sticker said, this vehicle was built to obtain 5 years or 50,000 miles, whichever occurred first. And it literally said, he goes, man, you got to take the sticker off this car. This car's got 48,000 miles on it.
I knew that. I knew it. Matt Gibbs, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Yes, sir.
We'll be right back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Casting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry. The United Kingdom has started rolling out the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech, the first Western country to begin vaccinating its population against the infection from the China virus. 90-year-old Margaret Keenan is the first person in the UK to receive the vaccine at University Hospital, Coventry, England. General Chuck Yeager, World War II pilot and the first person to break the sound barrier in flight, has died. He was 97. His wife Victoria announced his passing Monday evening. In 1947, Yeager flew the Bell X-1 rocket 700 miles per hour at 43,000 feet, becoming the first person to break the sound barrier in level flight. He was later portrayed in the book and movie The Right Stuff. Yeager was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1985. Undefeated no more, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Washington football team Monday night. Washington head coach Ron Rivera describes the locker room after the 23-17 win.
Euphoria.
USA Radio News.
Now with orders to stay at home, public health concerns, the reality of illness due to pathogens and viruses. Your health is at an all-time high risk. That's why it's critical to take a proactive approach to boost your immune system. You can with new nano-colloidal silver from Americare. Our patented process with tiny silver particles, 1/100th the size of a red blood cell, allows for maximum body absorption. Americare's nano-colloidal silver effectively disinfects your body internally, attacking pathogens and viruses while supercharging your immune system. Colloidal silver is antibacterial and antiviral. Simply put, it prohibits bacterial respiration, suffocating viral cells, preventing the virus from replicating. And now, due to public health concern, Americare is authorized to offer our lowest and best price ever, around $1 a day, but supplies are limited. Purchase nano-colloidal silver now at immunesupportnow.com. That's immunesupportnow.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Supplies are limited.
Help prevent the spread of germs. Wash your hands with soap and hot water for at least 20 seconds and always wash before you touch your face, eat, or drink. Use hand sanitizers. Limit sharing of eating utensils. Practice social distancing and avoid physical contact. Sneeze or cough into a tissue or the inside of your elbow. Avoid contact with ill individuals. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. Download the free booklet at Scientology.org/stay well.
Folks, you can look high and low and you'll never find a better selection of living plants for giving and decorating than at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. Look around this gorgeous 5-acre garden. Then visit the old-timey greenhouse. They have poinsettias, for example. You can get 3 florist-quality foil-wrapped poinsettias for as little as $12. And many larger sizes are available. Bob has Christmas cactus as low as $4.99. And listen, living potted Carolina blue sapphire Christmas trees starting at $49.99. And don't forget Christmas gift certificates. Get them for yourself when you buy for others. Come on over this week to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. Daily till 4, Saturday till 3 in the same blooming holiday tradition since 1952.
Brick City Creative Group is your one-stop multimedia destination. With the experience our team has, not many can really tell a story like we do. Specializing in live broadcasting, promo reels, film, and social media. No matter the story, we've got you covered with some of the best professionals in the industry. Your story is our mission. Find us on the web at brickcitycreativegroup.com or on Facebook at Brick City Creatives.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
On this episode of What Not to Do, brought to you by
Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
Why is there a helicopter in the yard?
Never mind that. We have bigger issues.
Really? Bigger than a helicopter?
Your parents are going to be here for the big dinner, and the garbage disposal is making some crazy noise, and it wasn't Christmas music.
Well, maybe you should have thought about that before you tried shoving an entire sack of potatoes down the disposal.
It wasn't the entire sack, just most of it.
Now's not the time for more jokes, Mr. Funny Man.
Well, I did try to fix it, but...
Do you have to do this every holiday?
No, I did skip Easter.
What did we agree the rules are?
No more circus animals in the house.
No, not that one.
Oh, if water runs through it, call Mike Scott Plumbing.
Because they don't charge extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. So put down the blowtorch and pick up the phone.
Yes, dear. 866-314-4443.
And why is there a helicopter in the yard?
Oh, that? Black Friday sale.
Happy holidays from all of us here at Mike Scott Plumbing.
I, Ebenezer Scrooge, have come to tell you not to attend Ocala Civic Theatre's production of A Christmas Carol. It is full of Christmas cheer. This holiday travesty is live on stage at OCT November 19th through December 20th. Unless you wish your family to be filled with hope and joy, do not call 352-236-2274 for tickets. And to those who do not heed my warning to avoid A Christmas Carol at OCT, I say, bah, humbug!
Oh, hey, Grandpa. Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to.
Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online